What's going on, all you Sexi Messi Flexi Pexi motherfuckers? It's your boy T-Dub, and we back with some more T-God Week. And today I have two very special guests on the channel. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Rhyme, and then NJ. Next.
Well, I guess you just did that for us, but Rhyme and MJ.
Thank you for having me on the channel, bro. It's a pleasure.
No, it's mine. The pleasure is mine, bro. But today we're gonna be talking about HunterxHunter, and we're gonna be talking about my personal favorite character in the series, Killua, and how much potential he has, and will he end up being pretty much the ultimate assassin? And I'm gonna let MJ go ahead and start us off here. MJ, what are your thoughts?
Wait, before we start, define assassin. Just so we're clear with that, define what you mean by assassin.
I don't necessarily mean him being like a full-time assassin. I just mean like him fully developing his assassin powers, you know? Like, cause you know how like during his training he has developed an immunity to like lightning and shit, and so now he can pretty much harness it and use it as he sees fit. And him, yeah, pretty much like that type of stuff, you know, like him getting into the mindset and developing his powers.
Well, I mean, we were talking off air about how we kind of remember there being a line in the anime. You guys can comment down below if we're correct on this or not, or, you know, feel free to correct us. But I remember there being a line where it was either the grandfather, the mother, or the father of Killua pretty much saying that he had the most potential out of all of them. And if that's the case, I can definitely see him living up to that, you know, because Killua has progressed greatly. I mean, you look at what he showed off in the Chimera Ant arc, you know, Godspeed. That's a very OP technique. I can just only imagine if he can master that further, you know what I mean? Because think of everything that they tried to do to Yuppie, and he was the only one that went in there and just like cleaned house, you know? So I could just imagine years later what he could be and what he could actually, like, he could legit be a threat to anybody, I would imagine, because just look at how strong, you know, the grandfather is in. Just imagine what he could do, you know, imagine what he could come up with years later. I mean, that's like my, I guess, like thought process on it. He could definitely live up to that, surpassing probably everybody in the Zodiac family.
What I was gonna say is I'm gonna break it down into two different ways to break it down or explanation. Potential, he has a lot. He probably has one of the most potentials in the entire series, even probably on the same level as Gon. I think they mentioned that Gon has the most potential in the series, but I would put Killua up there along with him, just due to the fact of what he went through as a kid, and he's still like only like what, 14, 15. By the time he's a full-grown adult, you could probably see him in an equivalent of adult Gon's, you know, character that we briefly saw in the show, as long as he keeps training. But is he going to be an assassin? No. I don't think he is. No. And the reason why is because he was trained to be an assassin the entire show, you know, entire series. Like, his first friend ever was Gon, and he was like so confused what that feel was like. It's like, what's it like to have a friend? Like, what is this? This is so foreign to me. And like, as you watch Killua from the beginning to the very end, when he well, I'm not gonna say what happened at the end, but to the very end, you notice that Killua becomes more of his own individual self, where he doesn't want to be like his father, like his grandfather, like his family. What I think Killua is going to turn into over the course of, you know, his life is more of a very, very powerful warrior. I will say that. Like I said, he has a lot of potential, but I don't think he's going to be following the same footsteps as his dad, his grandpa, his brother. He's going to be powerful. Will he have like assassin style techniques? Of course he would. Of course. But I don't think they'll be used in a negative way where it's like work for hire or that type of thing. Yeah. He'll figure out how to be his own hunter in his own unique way, where he could be more for the greater good as opposed to just, you know, being a muscle for hire. So that's what I see him going with.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say that was actually a good point, because what I mentioned earlier about him having the potential, what were they actually talking about? Were they talking about him actually just being an assassin, like being the best assassin, or did they mean strictly like power, you know, and that he would surpass like Zeno and everyone else, like Silva and everybody, you know? So it just kind of comes down to like exactly what they were talking about. But I do agree with Dino. I don't think he's gonna be an assassin, you know. So
yeah,
but that's why I want to know, like, define what assassin actually means, because like, it has very different meanings, you know. Is it like the negative way where you're literally just murdering people? Because he doesn't want to do that anymore.
No.
He probably realized, because like, again, he was a kid when he was first forced into this dark world, but now he's more You know, he's more human. He's more realized what he was doing his entire life. He realized what his family does. Does he agree with them? Probably here and there, depending on who they go after. But he's probably more human than he was before.
Yeah.
And that's all due to the fact that his friendship he developed with Gold.
And I think him becoming more human is actually part of his strength. They kind of touch on that in the Khmer arc, where he pulls out, I can't remember what it was that was stuck in his head. I think it was one of those little pins. Yeah, the little needle. And it was keeping him from doing anything, you know, that might put him in danger, you know. And once he ripped that out, you could see that Killua had, you know, overcome one of his major weaknesses. And I think that's what they were talking about in terms of him being like the ultimate assassin. I think they were mostly talking about his potential power, because it's like Killua's always been of a rebellious mind, so he was eventually gonna break off from them regardless, you know. And I feel like they were talking about his power because he's a fast learner, you know. He has all these immunities, like he's immune to poison, he's immune to lightning, he even uses lightning as part of his powers, you know. He learned like stuff like I think it was like the rhythm echo really early as like a child, you know. And it's just like, I feel like he's a really quick learner. He's
a prodigy.
Right, he is. And I think, you know, you brought up a great point. You said he probably has, like, the closest amount of potential to Gon that anyone is probably going to get in the series. And I think that's a very fair comparison. And I think that's what his family was talking about when they were trying to say that he could become the greatest assassin. I think they were just meaning, like, he could literally become, like, the strongest Zoldyck they've ever seen.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because like Dino brought up, like you just mentioned, Gon being like the main character, you know, he's the main protagonist of the show, to actually have someone kind of like be equal to him or just like close to it in terms of potential. Like I can just kind of like, you know, the more the story progresses, and I hope we get more into like the DC arc and all that, but the point is here, it just seems like Killua was always going to be by Gon's side as far as power and potential goes, you know.
Yeah,
I love the relationship he has with his dad. Because like in other shows, they'd probably be all like, you know what, we'll figure out a way to make him dark later. But like, I love the fact that his dad like kind of gives him that freedom to pursue what he wants to, and kind of give him, you know, that room to kind of figure out his own life and his own path. Because in the end, he feels like, oh, end of the day, he's probably going to come back and be an assassin anyway. That way we don't force him. But I feel like that the way that they also set that up is, you know, Killua's going to decide, you know what, I don't want this assassin life isn't for me. I don't want it, and that's going to probably create a whole other arc between him trying to figure out his life. If Togashi, you know, can kind of get his life together and finish the story. But like there's so many directions you can take his character and that entire like side of the story, and I love that. So yeah, I
agree.
And plus one thing I wanted to bring up, because I had thought of this as soon as MJ had mentioned Godspeed. The way Killua first quote unquote showed off Godspeed, and this is gonna be a slight spoiler, I'm not gonna say any names or when this happens, but the first time he actually shows it off, he was in a near-death situation, and he pretty much just kind of like activated it, you know. And if he can do that shit, where it's like he's learning stuff, and it's like he's adapting to his situations, and if he's near death, he's just like fucking figuring shit out. That's how you know he's like a genius, like he's a prodigy. Like that just goes to show how good he is at what he does, even at such a young age, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. So anything else from you guys?
Togashi, please come back.
Yeah,
we miss you.
Yeah, we want this stuff to continue. But yeah, I completely agree with everything you said, T-Dub. It's just like, I think Killua does have the potential to probably be something great, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. But
the real question is adult Killua versus adult Gon, who'd win?
Oh man, come on.
It's kind of tough to ask that question because we, you know, partially saw something like that, but we don't know, like, you know, which direction he'll take his character as an adult. It's something we probably will never see unless they decide to do one day, like an OVA or something, and show us that, which we probably won't. But for funsies, adult Killua versus adult Gon, who you got?
Yeah, put it in the comment section. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. So I had fun doing this. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying T-God Week. And yeah, leave a like and a comment. And yeah, this has been your boy T-Dub, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Peace.